Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Asad Yaqub and I am from Lahore, Pakistan, and I teach IELTS here in Lahore. I've got my own institute and there I teach IELTS, and I also teach IELTS online across the world. If you want to take my online IELTS classes, you can contact me for that as well. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of the IELTS reading question types. So we're going to go through IELTS reading question types, and we're going to see in reading module whether it is academic reading or general training reading. We're going to see what sort of questions are going to be there, and in reading, questions are like monsters. So we are going to see what kind of monsters are going to be there, and I'll try to give you some quick tips on how to deal with these monsters, okay? And I'm going to make a detailed course in English on IELTS listening, reading and all that stuff, so don't worry. Now I'll be making more videos in English, okay? So the first question type in IELTS reading is sentence completion. And of course they can come in any order. It's not that the order I'm going to explain them in, they will come in the same order. They can come in any order. Sentence completion. Sentence completion is like fill in the blanks. There are certain blanks within the sentence and you got to fill these blanks. Reading the passage, you got to find the words from there, and then you got to fill those words into the blanks, and there you'll be getting marks for that. So sentence completion, you complete the gaps in the sentences using words from the passage. When they say using words from the passage, you got to use the words exactly as they are written in the passage. If in the passage they've written television, write television. If in the passage they've written television with capital T, write television with capital T. If in the passage they've written TV, write TV. If they've written TV capital letters, write capital. If they've written TV small letters, write small letters. So when you got to pick the words from the passage, if they've written 8%, 8 digit, and the percent sign in the passage, write 8%. If they've written EIGHT 8, PER per CENT cent 8%, write it as it is. They're quite touchy about it, okay? So for sentence completion, you got to pick the words from the passage and you got to write them as they are. Here in reading, I'm going to tell you about these questions, and I'm going to tell you in what sort of questions the passage and questions, they are in the same order, and in what sort of questions the passage and the questions, they are in random order. I'll use two words. One is passage order and second is random order. Random order means the answer of question number 1 you'll find in the last paragraph, the answer of question number 2 you'll find before that, and passage order means question number 1, answer number 1, question number 2, answer number 2, question number 3, answer number 3 in the passage. Got it? Okay, that's good. Alright, I'm trying to talk to you pleasantly so that you understand and you enjoy my videos as well, right? So in sentence completion, answers are in passage order. Write up to 3 words and a number. Up to 3 words, maximum 3 words, minimum it can be 1 word as well. Don't ask me a silly question. Well, if I don't write even a single word, what will happen? They'll not give you any bands for that. They'll not give you any score for that. Check spelling with passage. I told you. Check grammar of completed sentence. Sometimes you got to add S of plural. If they say activity and then they have written are the most important, right? Then it should be activities are most important, something like that, okay? So you got to check. I mean, after filling the blanks, you got to read all the sentence, and then you got to see the word which I fit there. Does that match grammatically as well? Is that word correct grammatically as well? If the word is correct grammatically, go on, there's no problem. Okay, good. Alright, and then you got to check grammar of completed sentence and don't include any unnecessary words. Right? Now, for example, if I'm invited for a party, I'm only person who is invited, solely invited in a party, and I take my friend along, they will refuse both of me. They'll say, now both of you go back home. In the same way in IELTS reading, if you are writing unnecessary word with the right answer, they're going to refuse both of you. They're going to say, get out of here. Okay? They will cross your answer. So remember, no unnecessary word should be added. If you add any unnecessary word, your correct answer is going to be incorrect. Alright? Good. Let's go on. The next type of questions in reading is notes, table, flowchart completion. We've got notes, we've got tables, and we've got flowchart, and you got to complete them. Within these notes, tables, and flowchart, they're going to be the gaps, and you got to fill in the gaps, and that's how you're going to do it. So you complete the gaps in the notes, table, and flowchart using words from the passage. Now, remember one thing. You got to make your plan for reading. For every type of questions, you got to make your plan. What is that? Now, for example, you come across sentence completion and say, oh, I know what my plan is for sentence completion. I got to read the questions first, I got to underline the clue words, and after that I got to scan the passage for the clue words, and then after scanning the passage I got to skim the passage, and then where I find the answers I got to read the passage carefully, and then I'll find the answer and I'll write down the answer. This is my plan. This is my plan. So for each question type, you got to make your plan. I mean, whenever the question type comes in front of you, you know, oh yes, here the answers are in passage order. Oh yes, here I got to apply this technique. Oh yes, here I got to apply this formula, this tip, that formula, that tip, that secret tip. You should know, and then you'll be able to fight with IELTS successfully. Otherwise, there's going to be a mishmash, and there's going to be the haphazard sort of thing, and then you'll not be able to get good bands in IELTS reading. And IELTS reading is already a nightmare because of these monsters. So these questions are like monsters, and because of these monsters, IELTS becomes a nightmare, right? And if you are going to understand each of these monsters, I mean the question type, if you understand the question type and if you know how to deal with that, you can easily kill these monsters and you can end up getting a good bands in IELTS. Let's go on. What you need to do with notes, table, and flowchart completion. Answers may not be in passage order. Now feed it here. Notes, table, flowchart completion. Answers may not be in passage order. They may be, but actually they may not be in passage order. You see, if the answers are in passage order, once you find the answer of the first question, the next ones are going to be in the subsequent lines or subsequent paragraphs, then it's going to be easier. But when answers may not be in passage order, they are scattered. For each answer, you got to scan all the passage, okay? But you need to improve your scanning speed and all that. Next, write up to 3 words and or a number. Up to 3 words and or a number. Check spelling with passage. If in the passage color is spelled C-O-L-O-U-R, you write C-O-L-O-U-R. If in the passage color is spelled C-O-L-O-R, you write C-O-L-O-R. Right? So you got to match your spelling, check your spelling according to the passage with the passage. Don't include any unnecessary words. If you're going to include any unnecessary words, your right answer is going to be the wrong answer, and then you say, oh my God, I answered all the questions. How come I got just this band? I don't name that band, okay? Then you're surprised, and actually you don't know. Somewhere you misspelled, somewhere you wrote unnecessary words, and somewhere things like that, and because of that you get the low band score. Got it? Okay, let's go on. Next type is short answer questions. In short answer questions, they're going to give you WH questions, and you got to read short answer question. You got to see what is the clue word here. The clue word is going to take you, you know, you are a detective. When you're doing IELTS reading, you are a detective, and you know the answer in the passage is that criminal, and you got to find the criminal, and that criminal is missing from the prison of the question. Question is like a prison, answer is like a criminal, and you are detective. You got to find that criminal from the passage. Passage is like, you know, the city. You got to find it, you got to catch it from there and put it back to the prison of the question. Okay, yeah, it's going to be easier and it's going to be a little fun as well. So for short answer question, I told you read the question carefully, underline the clue words, and the first target should be try to reach the paragraph where the answer might be. First thing, paragraph. Second thing, lines, those sentences where the answer might be. Then read closely. It's just going to be like the Google map, right? First it's big, then it's closer, then it is closer, then it is closer. So it should be like that. First the whole passage, one paragraph, few lines, answer. I found it, okay, like that. So you got to do it. And your eyes are going to scan. On your mobile device, you do it like this. But here, your eyes are going to scan, right? From the whole passage to one paragraph. From one paragraph to a couple of lines. From a couple of lines to that very word that answers your question. Got it? Good job, good job. I'm sorry. I mean, some of you really felt bad that I was not making any videos in English. And you were quite angry. I mean, those who don't understand Hindi, Urdu, Punjabi, so they can't understand my videos. And believe me, I have given such valuable information in my Hindi videos, Urdu videos and Punjabi videos. But don't worry, I'm going to give you equal or more than equal valuable or more than equally valuable information in these videos as well. So don't worry about that. I'm back and now I've decided to make a couple of series, yeah, not one video, a complete series in English. So let's go on for short answer question. Answers are in passage order. Good news. Where answers are in passage order, that is easier. Right? So answers are in passage order. That's a good news for you. Now you got to feed it. And discuss it with your friends as well. Say, okay, what is your strategy for short answer questions? All right, I'll tell you. For short answer questions, first of all, we'll read. So this is how you got to discuss it with your friends. And then through practice, you can apply some of your own techniques, some of your own methods, and you say, oh, it works. And then you share it with others that, okay, if in short answer questions, you're going to do this, this really works. So come up with your own techniques. Come up with your own procedures. Come up with your own methods of doing the things in IELTS reading. So, answers are in passage order. Write up to 3 words and or a number. Check spelling with passage. Don't include any unnecessary words. Got it? The next type of questions is labeling a diagram. Now, they're going to give you a diagram. You got to label it. Some parts of the diagram will be labeled already and those parts are going to be your clue. Now what you need to do, you got to scan those words, and sometimes if there is a diagram and it is labeled, 2 things are labeled, now those 2 words are not going to be different. They're not going to use synonyms. Because you know, they can be some proper nouns, they can be some proper things or whatever they are. Sometimes it's difficult to change the words for labeling the diagrams. You got to exactly keep that word in mind. Now for example, if in the diagram, there's a diagram and the height is mentioned, and there with the height they have written 756 feet and the width is missing, so 756 feet. Find 756 feet in the passage and your eyes can scan 756 easily. Once you scan, read from there, you know the height, you will find the width easily as well. So for diagram, the words which are already labeled, they are going to take you to the part of the passage where you can see the answer, okay, and then you can find it as well. And let's go on with the labeling a diagram. You name parts of a diagram using words from the passage. Okay, I told you already. I'm reading from there, okay? I'm telling you I'm reading already. There's a book in front of me and I'm reading from the book. I'm not cheating. I've just written some notes and few things I want to tell you. That's why. So, answers may not be in passage order, but usually they are grouped together. For labeling a diagram, all the answers are grouped together. Grouped together means they are in the same part of the passage, same part or same paragraph. Sometimes you'll find in 2 paragraphs, first paragraph and second paragraph, they've got all the information of that diagram. And sometimes they are all in 1 paragraph. So they are grouped together. Answers may not be in passage order. Write up to 3 words and or a number. Check spelling with passage. You know that already. Don't include any unnecessary words. Then you say, I don't get good bands in IELTS. I don't know what happens. Okay? Yes. And next is mark relevant parts of passage while reading. When you're reading, you can mark relevant parts of the passage. You can underline, you can encircle, you can put in brackets or something like that you can do about it. So this is labeling a diagram. Now we go ahead. The next is your favorite type of questions. A lot of people ask me, sir, give us some tips about true, false and not given. True, false. No, I didn't say that. True, false, not given. Okay, so true, false, not given. It's another interesting type of questions. We've got two. One is true, false, not given, and one is yes, no, not given. Both are different, and I'll tell you the difference as well. In true, false, not given, they give you the statements and you got to decide whether the statements agree with the passage, true, or the statements disagree with the passage, false, or no information is given about that very thing in the passage, that is not given. Got it? Good. So you decide whether the statement agrees with or contradicts the passage, or whether there is no information. Now let me tell you, in true, false, not given, they twist your mind through statements. Passage is clear. Passage is very, very clear. There's no problem with the passage. All the twists, all the tricks, I call them examiner's tricks. So all the examiner's tricks are within the questions. So that's why I would advise you to read a lot of questions about true, false, not given. Do one exercise that's going to help you. Now, the tip I'm going to give you right now, I didn't give this tip to anybody in my any other video. See that? So whenever I sit in front of the camera, I don't know how I get the ideas and all that stuff. So what you need to do, you got to read the question. Don't go for finding the answer. Just check the answer that this question is true. You are not reading the passage. You just read the question and then see, okay, the answer of this question is true, the answer of this question is false, the answer of this question is not given, and then you will be prepared and you will be ready to find out examiner's mindset, and then you will understand, okay, usually this type of questions are true. If they use the words like all of the, most of the, majority of, these type of questions are usually false. And if they use the words like whatever, I mean, you got to practice it. You got to do it again and again and again. Then you say, all right, these type of questions are usually not given. And believe me, through the language they use within the statements, you can judge that. It's a secret tip I'm giving you. It just dawned upon me right now and I told you. So what you need to do, at least 100 questions you got to go through. At least 100. Then you see, okay, these 30 statements, only the statement, these 30 statements were answered as true. Now you read them carefully. Okay, what sort of language structure? And then the words, I told you, the words like most of the, majority of the, then the difference in active voice, passive voice, right, the sentence structure. Then you get to know, okay, these type of sentences are usually true, these type of sentences are usually false, these type of statements are usually not given. And when it's going to be your actual IELTS test, you read a statement and you come to know, usually when they use the words like that, it can be either true or false, it cannot be not given. And then you go there, read the, I don't say don't read the passage, you got to read the passage, why not? Then read the passage and make sure whether it is true or false. And then you read a question statement, true, false, not given, and you say, I doubt, I mean, it can be not given because the type of language they have used here, these type of sentences are usually, or these type of statements are usually not given. Now go there, find, say, bingo, I knew it is not given. Got it? This is what you, and this will happen through a lot of practice. Examiner is clever, you have to be clever, right? If examiner is clever, you are innocent like me, you cannot get good bands in IELTS. If examiner is clever, You are clever. Now you will enjoy the test. You say, okay, I know the examiner is clever, but I am more clever than the examiner. So just you wait. And then you start with that, okay? So this is how you're going to do it. Answers are in passage order. Good news. In true, false, not given, the answers are in passage order. When you find the answer of question number 1, read on. You'll find the answer of question number 2. Read on. It can be the next sentences or it can be the next paragraph, but the answers are in passage order for true, false, not given. Write true, false, not given. Sometimes people, they write T, capital T for true, capital F for false, capital NG for not given. That is also correct. So you can write either T-R-U-E. If you write T-R-U-E, T should be capital. If you write false, F-A-L-S-E, F should be capital. I mean, you can do it. Even if it is small, they will accept it as correct answer, but you should write it like that. Got it? True, false, not given is clear. You can practice it. The next type of questions is global multiple choice. Global multiple choice. In global multiple choice, what do? They give you 4 or 5 options and you got to select one option as the title for the whole passage. It can be the first passage, the second passage, the third passage, academic or gender training, whatever, right? So in global does not mean something international. No, global means all the passage. Right? Global multiple choice, they'll give you 4 options or maybe 5 options and say out of these 4 options, which one is the suitable title for the passage, or they write a question and then there'll be 4 answers, but this covers all the passage. Now let me tell you, if there is a question global multiple choice, try to do it at the end of the section, not the test. If it is in section 1, do it at the end of section 1 and respectively, right? So try to do it at the end of the section, because for this you need good understanding of the whole passage, right? And when you're doing this question, by the way, you cannot scan, you cannot find it. I mean, you read the options and then you realize, and remember the other 3 options are excellent traps. How? For example, there are 4 options and you read the first option. Yes, that first option is there within the passage, but that is only in 1 paragraph. The scope of that one option is only up to 1 paragraph. Another option, yes, there is information about that option in paragraph 3, but that is up to the scope of that very paragraph. And then you read another one, then you're okay, this heading actually covers all the passage. So the heading you're going to select should be like an umbrella. Imagine there's an umbrella on my head. It should be like an umbrella that covers all the passage. So the heading you're going to select should be like an umbrella which is going to cover all the passage. So that is what we call global multiple choice. You decide what the main themes of the passage, what the main theme of the passage is. You decide what the main theme of the passage is. Question covers whole passage, right? And you got to write A, B, C, D out of 4. Check other options are wrong. You got to see, and sometimes, you know, odd one out. You go through it, you say option number 1, no. Option number 1 does not cover all the passage. Option number 2, maybe, but I'm not sure. Option number 3, absolutely not. It is not possible. Option number 4, yes. Now you are left with 2 options. Now between these 2 options, you got to decide which is the right option. Okay, so it's going to be easier. So odd one out, right? For example, there are 4 people. You got to identify as one person who is the culprit out of 4, and you say, oh, these 2, no, they are not the culprit. These 2 are out. Now I've got to decide between these 2 people. I got to decide, these 2 persons are there. I got to decide who's the culprit. So this is what you got to do with this global multiple choice. Shall we go ahead? Are you enjoying? Thank you very much. I'm enjoying. Even if you're not enjoying, I know my joy is going to become your enjoy, and you're going to enjoy that. So my joy, your joy, and when 2 joys are going to come together, we will add an E, and then we are going to enjoy. Joy, joy, enjoy. Let's enjoy. Okay, I'm enjoying making this video for you in English. So the next type of questions is matching. What you need to do here, you got to match things. You match statements to items in a box. There are the statements and you got to match them with the items in the box, right? That is what we call matching. They're the statements, incomplete statements, and down there, the first part of the sentence is here. Down there are 5-6 options, and these 5-6 options are basically the second part of the sentence. You got to pick one from there and you got to match it. And grammatically, if for example in the questions they're using present perfect, have, has, and all that, and then the options will all start with third form of the verb. Discovered, gone, improved, found out, something like that. So you would see grammatically every option would fit there, but you have to see logically and according to the information which is given in the passage, does that match with it or not? That's what we call matchings. You got to find the right match. If you find a wrong match and you get married, you are in trouble. But sometimes you find the right match and again you get into trouble because of yourself as well. Yeah, sometimes. But anyways, let's go on. It's basically matching, and statements are not in passage order, but let me give you the good news as well. Statements are not in passage order, but boxed items are usually in passage order. Statements, that means questions. Questions are not in passage order, but the statements which are given in the box, they are according to the passage. So what you need to do, read the question, underline the clue words from the question and from the statements, and now you know, okay, this statement, where can I find the answer related to that? And then you go to that part of the passage. You got to just come down again for the whole passage, bring it down to the paragraph, then bring it down to the sentences, read the sentences and find your answer. So this is how you're going to do it. Write A, B or C, etc. for your answers. Some letters may be used more than once as well. In matching, one letter can be used twice as well. For example, they are the scientists. Scientist A is Starscob, B is Keller, C is John, D is Maria. So you got to see, and you can use one name twice as well. One option can be used twice as well in matching. If it is you're matching the statements with the scientists there. Okay. Some letters may not be used. Some letters are extra as well, so you don't need to use them. There are 4 questions. They'll give you around 7-8 options. So 2-3 options are extra, but they are perfect traps. Remember, in IELTS listening as well as in IELTS reading, wherever there are extra options, these extra options are to trap you. They are ready to trap you. Now it depends on you whether you escape or you are trapped. It's all up to you. Okay, the next is finding information in paragraphs. You got to find information within the paragraphs, and this is the type of questions. You find the paragraph that contains the information in the question. So you got to read the statement and then you got to see in which paragraph we've got this information, and then you just write the paragraph number A, B, C, D and all that. Here you got to use your scanning technique to scan all the passage and to see where is the information. Number 1, scanning technique. Number 2, skimming technique, to read through the lines. And number 3, careful reading. Yes, that's the statement. This is the information given here. It's paragraph B. Bingo! Paragraph B for question number 9. Like that. Got it? Yes. So write A, B, C, etc. Some letters may be used more than once. Okay, no problem. Some paragraphs may not be tested. If there are 9 paragraphs, so they write A, B, C, D, E, F. That's it. Right? Sometimes they can label the middle paragraphs. Sometimes they can label the last paragraphs. Sometimes they label all the paragraphs. So you got to see accordingly. Now, let's go on. The next type of questions, I'm giving you actually the overview of IELTS reading question types. The next type of questions is actually sentence completion with a box. It is exactly like sentence completion, but now additionally there will be a box to confuse you more. To confuse you further, they will give you a box. You got to find a word from the passage. Then from the box you got to find a synonym of that word, and then you got to write that word directly, or the words are labeled like A, B, C, D, E, F, So you'll write that very letter over there. In sentence completion with the box, you complete the sentences by selecting the correct ending from a box of options. Answers are in passage order. Good news. Where answers are in passage order, they are easier. Answers are in passage order. Write A, B, C, etc. Some letters may not be used. They are extra. If there are four blanks, so they might give you eight words. So 4 are extra, and extra words are traps. Check grammar and meaning of sentences. You got to check the grammar. Grammatically, what word is going to be appropriate here, and according to the meaning, because you got to find the synonyms. So you got to see, okay, I found this word in the passage. Now according to this word, what's the synonym in the box? And then you got to write the synonym over there. Okay, good. The next type of questions is yes, no, not given. Now I tell you one thing about true, false, not given. True, false, not given, they check your understanding of factual information. In true, false, not given, all the statements are about facts. They are about factual information. On the other hand, in yes, no, not given, they will test your understanding of writer's views, writer's opinion, or writer's claim. What is writer's opinion? What is writer's view, and what is writer's claim about a certain statement? So in yes, no, not given, they are going to check your ability, whether you can do it or not. So for this, you decide whether the statement agrees with or contradicts the writer's views or claims, or whether there is no information about that. Answers are in passage order. In true, false, not given, and in yes, no, not given, the answers are in passage order. There's a brief warning I would like to give you, and the warning is, if the question type is true, false, not given, write true, false, not given. Don't write yes, no, not given. They will cross your answers, and then you say, oh my God, you know what I'm going to say next. Okay, I don't need to say that. So you gotta be careful. So you got to write your answers. You can write your answers as Y, capital Y for yes, capital N for no, capital NG for not given. You can write answers like that, because in reading we are always rushing through the passages because there is less time. Next one, multiple choice in reading. In multiple choice, there is one statement, then there are the options A, B, C or A, B, C, D, and you got to see according to the passage which option is going to be correct. And remember, where there are the options, the other options are traps. See that? This is option, 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 option. So these options actually make a trap for you. Sometimes you are trapped, sometimes you only pick the right option. Okay, so you choose the correct letter, A, B, C, D. Answers are in passage order. This is what you got to cram. Question type, multiple choice. Answers are in passage order. Question type, yes, no, not given. Answers are in passage order. Question type, sentence completion with the box. Answers are in passage order. You should know that. You should know that clearly. It's not that you say sentence completion, I don't know whether the answers are in passage order or not. So then you will have to search all across the passage. It's going to take more time. So for your effective time management, it is important to get to know clearly, if this is the question type, whether the answers are in passage order or not. Well, this is all about multiple choice. Answers are in passage order. Write A, B, C or D. Check other options are wrong. You got to see why other options are wrong, why they are not correct. Okay, so if you're selecting B, why do you think A is not the right answer? Why do you think C and D are not the right answers? You got to check other options as well. Okay, so far so good. I know it's going to be a long video, but I'm going to cover all the question types. So it's going to be an overview of reading question types. So that's why you got to take it. So the next one is paragraph headings, and as far as paragraph headings is concerned, the options are given. The list of headings. We also call it list of headings. The list of headings is given in Roman number. Roman 1, Roman 2, Roman 3. You know the Roman numbers, right? Even if you don't know, you should know Roman numbers up to 10. Exactly. With one I, it is 1, 2 I's, 2, 3 I's, 3 I, V is 4, V is 5, and so on, right? So you need to learn the Roman numbers. Now let me tell you, when you're going to write the option, I mean the list of headings. From the list of headings, you write the option number 3. If you write this 3, it will be considered wrong. They're going to cross it. You got to write Roman number. Okay, even if you don't know the Roman number, just check it there with the option, whatever the number is, I, IV, V, VI, and all that, you can write it as it is. Okay, but it's a good idea to learn Roman numbers up to 10. So list of headings, I mean the list is going to be in Roman numbers, not A, B, C, D. So all you need to do, you got to, and then there'll be questions like 10, 11, 12, 13 on the answer sheet with 10, 11, 20, 10, 11, 20, 12. You got to just, my number is going wrong. Okay, 10, 11, 12. You got to just write that Roman number from the list of headings. Now here, there are two things. Sometimes you read the first sentence and you get to know the gist of the paragraph. Sometimes the first sentence does not explain anything, does not say anything. In that case, read the second sentence. And when you are reading the paragraph, it should be in your mind that I am reading this paragraph because I want to give a heading to this paragraph. Once your approach, once your way of thinking while reading the paragraph is this, that I am reading this paragraph because I want to give it a title. So give a title on your own to the paragraph. Well, I think this paragraph is about that. If you've given a mental title, it's going to be easier for you to locate that title from the list. Got it? So this is how you do list of headings. And again, I'm telling you, sometimes the first two sentences say nothing. Then you got to read the last sentence. Then you got to read the second last sentence. And this is how you got to go on. Unless you are clear. I mean, at times you got to read all the paragraph as well. Do it as well. Sometimes few lines, sometimes all the paragraph. If the paragraph is short, then read it all. In general training, sometimes paragraphs are short, so you can read all the paragraph as well. Anyways, this is about paragraph headings. You choose the correct heading for each paragraph from a list of headings. Underline or highlight main ideas in paragraph. As you read, don't just read. Underline. Now, for example, you read one paragraph and you underline around 10 words. Now look at these 10 words. Okay, word number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then make up your mind. Yes, according to these 10 words, for this paragraph, this should be the right heading. Got it? So otherwise, you'll read the whole paragraph and then you say, I got to read it again. So when you got to read it again, you'll waste your time. But if you underline the words, if you have already underlined the words, then you just look at those underlined words, read them, and you'll find your answer. You'll find your right heading for that very paragraph. And remember, there are some extra headings, and these extra headings are traps, right? Maybe one heading covers only one sentence within the paragraph. And you say, oh gosh, I got it. I got it. By Jove, I got it. How? See, this is the sentence, right? And in the list of headings, they're saying this, that's the right answer. So if you find the answer quickly, or if you find the answer easily, you must be careful. They can be a trap because, you know, if the carrot is really red, it can be a trap by someone, okay? So you're not going to be a rabbit who's going to be a trap just for a carrot instead, or it can be a plastic carrot. I mean, the trap is going to be like a plastic carrot, all right? So you gotta be careful. Okay, underline or highlight main ideas in paragraphs. Write the correct number, 1, 2, 3, etc., the Roman number. Some headings will not be used. I told you in the list of headings, some headings are extra, they'll not be used, so be careful. And if you find the trap, for example, you found a trap heading and then you found the correct heading, cross the trap heading. But be careful. If you think this is the trap heading and that heading is the right heading, then you're going to lose marks for that as well. Okay. Next one is summary completion. I'm actually telling you, I'm giving you the overview of IELTS reading, and then we are discussing question types. So summary completion. In summary completion, you complete the gaps in the summary using words from the passage. And you know what does it mean if they say use word from the passage. Answers may not be in passage order. In summary completion, answers may not be in passage order. Write up to 3 words and or a number. Check spelling with passage. Check grammar of completed summary. Don't include any unnecessary words. Now read the summary. Wherever there is a blank, read before the blank and after the blank. Sometimes they complete one sentence up to the full stop, then there is a blank, and in the next sentence they started with the reference of the previous sentence. The words like this process, such people, this idea, this is going to be like a reference. Then you got to go back and see what have they said in the previous sentence, right? So in summary completion, you gotta be careful about these things. For summary completion, answers may not be in passage order. Summary completion, no passage order. You should know that. Write up to 3 words and on a number. Check spelling with passage, check grammar, and don't include any unnecessary words. Read the summary carefully, underline the clue words, go to that portion of the passage where you know the answers are going to be, and then try to find the answers very, very cleverly. Right? Yes. The next one is summary completion with the box. They're going to give you a box to confuse you because they were not happy. They could not confuse you too much with summary completion. So they decided to confuse you with summary completion with the box, and let's see. Now we'll confuse them double. You complete the gaps in the summary using words or phrases from a box. This is the only difference. Otherwise they are same. Write A, B, C. Some letters will not be used. Check spelling with passage and check grammar of completed summary. Next is classification. It's another type of questions in reading. In classification, you decide which category some statements or features belong to. Statements, features. They can be the features of a certain thing or features of a certain process or something like that, or they can be statements. So you got to see, you got to decide which category some statements or features belong to. Answers are not in passage order, so you should learn and understand that. For classification, answers are not in passage order. Write A, B, C, etc. Some letters may be used more than once as well. Within the options, some letters can be used more than once and some letters may not be used. And the letters which will not be used, they are the traps. The last but not the least, pick from a list. In this type of questions, pick from a list. You got to pick the correct answers from a list of options. There can be 5 options, A, B, C, D, E, and then say according to passage, what 2 options are correct out of A, B, C, D, E. So you got to write that one. Let me tell you, if there is a question type, it's a very good idea. In the beginning of your reading test, you got to go through all the type of questions. It's going to be fantastic. In the beginning, before you start your reading test, go through all the type of questions. Say, okay, sentence completion, true, false, not given, paragraph headings, summary completion, this and that, so that you know about the type of the test you are going to solve. So if there's pick from the list in any section, when you start that section, the first thing you're going to do, you're going to read the questions of pick from the list, and you're going to underline the clue words, and you're going to retain this information. You got to keep that in mind and then start solving the first set of questions. But keep the questions or keep the statements of pick from the list in mind. Even in the middle, you can go back and say, all right, these are the options, these are the statements, and I got to see if there is any answer. And if you find relevant information, leave the type of questions you are doing and start doing pick from the list. If you're going to do pick from the list alone, individually, separately, it is going to take a lot of time and it is going to confuse you a lot, right? So I hope you got that, what I'm going to say. If pick from the list comes in section 3, read the questions first, do the other questions, right? But retain these questions, and you can take a quick look. Okay, I got to do this as well. Although I'm doing this type of questions now, but I got to do that as well. So take a quick look. All right, you got to retain the questions. That's going to help you. Answers may not be in passage order. Write A, B, C, etc. Each answer may score 1 mark, or the whole question may score 1 mark. Now they'll say, okay, out of A, B, C, D, you got to select 2, and there is only 1 question. So the whole thing is going to score 1 mark. So this was the overview of reading question types. I hope you would have understood by now, and now you're going to make your own plan, right? And you're going to make your own strategies to solve this. If you like this video, hit on the like button, subscribe my channel, and share these videos with your friends as well. tell them about Asad Yaqub IELTS videos too. And I'm going to make more videos in English. And now I'm here. You got to be my viewers. You got to be the viewers of my English videos. Don't forget to comment on my videos. Appreciate me, then I'll make more videos in English. And if you're not going to appreciate me, then I'll start making the videos in Punjabi, Hindi and Urdu. Okay, that's good. So don't forget to give me the comments, and if you got any needs, any learning needs, do inform me about that. Do inform me about your problems in IELTS. And I also teach IELTS online. I conduct online IELTS classes. In these classes, I teach about IELTS. I teach reading, writing, listening, speaking, and I conduct these classes on Skype or WhatsApp, and I charge for these classes. So if you want to take my online IELTS classes, my number is given. Contact me on WhatsApp, and then we can set the time, and then we can start the classes, and Asad Yaqub will prepare you for a good bench score in IELTS. Thanks for watching this video. Asad Yaqub from Lahore, Pakistan wishes you all the best. Take care. Bye-bye.